Hey, KU football fans, welcome to a post-game edition of KU Sports Extra. I'm Benton Smith here with Tom Keegan, and the long-anticipated 2018 debut of the Kansas football team didn't quite go exactly as planned.
No, it went exactly as so many games have gone in recent years.
So 12 game losing streak now for the program. Last time that they ended a game with a victory was 2017 season opener, but you're right. A lot of the more we watched tonight, the more it just seemed like we were watching the 2017 team. I mean, at some points they were more sound, but it wasn't enough. And Nicholls was too good, and was KU just not well prepared enough, or what stood out to you most?
I think one thing that stood out is that it just proves that it's hard to slap an offensive line together in a few weeks, because that was very disjointed. Alex Fontana tried to take all the blame, and he was sincere in saying that. He wasn't trying to be a hero. But there were a lot of things that went wrong tonight, and he had a terrible game, but it wasn't all him, certainly. I mean, they just didn't connect in so many ways all night, and it was weird with the timeouts and all that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Fontana, the bad snaps, and there were a lot of them, but that alone was definitely not the difference in the game. The offensive line did not look like the coaches had kind of maybe hyped him up a little bit to be, because they were looking for a lot out of not only him, but Kevin Feeder and Dwayne Wallace, and obviously they've always thought highly of Akeem Adeniji. So
yeah,
the old line, just nothing was there all night for them, really.
Right, Tova had a rough game at left guard. Fontana certainly had a rough game. The fans finally booed tonight, and you can't be mad at them at all for that. This is an incredibly patient fan base. And I know the attendance numbers have dwindled, but still, it's amazing that as many people still keep coming to games. And you wonder after tonight, where it just so many opportunities. Nicholls has a punt blocked. They botch a snap on a punt that leads to a safety, and they what's the other one I'm forgetting? Drop the punt, muff punt.
Yeah, muffed punt that
one of their
Kyron
better players
Johnson got to.
Yeah. They gifted them 9 points. An FCS school in Lawrence, and Kansas still can't win when they've been gifted 9 points. That's just bad.
Yeah, and that's probably why it felt so much like these previous KU teams that we've watched the past few years. Just even when something went right, it ultimately didn't matter.
Right.
There were just too many problems in too many different areas, and it all piles up. And it's safe to say the better team won, correct?
I think so. Yeah, there's no question. This game was in Lawrence, and I think what happened is Nicholls realized they're on the verge of something, and that made them a little nervous, and they made a bunch of mistakes. And how many times do you see that in sports, where the underdog almost gets there, and then just looks at what's going on and falls apart? And it started to happen, but Kansas fell apart even worse.
Yeah, kind of strange. And overtime, the KU offense obviously starts with the ball after Nicholls won the coin toss, but right, the very first snap, Fontana, it looks like a direct snap to Dom Williams. It was supposed to go to Peyton Bender. Now, Bender didn't make much of that play, going nowhere as far as like what actually transpired after that. But a couple plays later, Miles Kendrick is in at quarterback, and he hadn't been in since the second quarter. So just a lot of kind of head-scratching things that happened, especially in that fourth quarter and overtime.
Yeah, just be button up first before you start alternating quarterbacks. I didn't know. I thought Bender started the game great, and I thought, well, even if you pre-script that you want to bring Miles Kendrick in, adjust. That's what sports is all about, is adjusting. He had a hot hand early, Bender. Let him keep rolling.
Yeah, I think Kendrick came in on the fourth series. But yeah, Bender seemed to start off great, and kind of the more the game went on, the less effective the O-line got. Bender ended up getting sacked 6 times, and
the more creative the D-line got with Nicholls. And
Bender also had a potential touchdown pass dropped by Steven Sims.
Yeah, that was a great throw.
Yeah, put it right on the money.
He was really throwing it well early.
Yeah, so
And then he's just getting rocked every play, and he doesn't spot blitzes very well. He doesn't have great pocket presence, certainly, but give him time, and he throws a beautiful ball.
and he seemed better. He seemed to handle pressure situations better tonight than he had last year as a junior.
Maybe in the first half, but in
There
the
you
second
go.
half, it got pretty rough in that regard. But they were in there so quick. I mean, they started blitzing, and nobody was picking it up, and I don't know. This just doesn't look like a well-drilled football team. Maybe it's because you keep bringing in new personnel every year. The way to do this is to build with 5-year high school players. You redshirt them, and they've been here 5 years. If some of them are from Kansas, or a lot of them are close to Kansas, then Kansas football means a lot to them. He's only given scholarships to 6 Kansas players out of high school in 4 years. And I don't know, the whole thing just seems like there hasn't been a plan, a blueprint of any kind. I don't know, if Jeff Long has any plans to include Les Miles on his list, and you really want to make Les Miles the coach, go ahead and bring him in now. But I don't think that'll happen, but hey, you never know.
That would excite a lot of KU football fans.
It would, and that's not, the sole reason to make a
Right.
move, but if Long thinks he's a guy, if he knows him, talks to him, and thinks he'd be really, really committed, you could do worse than Les Miles.
Well, next week KU is at Central Michigan. We obviously know that KU does not typically succeed on the road. I think it's at 46 now, the road losing streak.
I believe that's right. I would have, if Kansas pulled this game out even playing poorly, I would have picked them to win at Central Michigan. Now I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not real impressed with Central Michigan. They lost a bunch of guys, and including the quarterback Shane Morris, who shredded them. But I mean, what's it going to be like all week there? I mean, are they going to believe that? I don't know. After a while, it becomes hard to believe.
For a KU player,
I would
because you've been through
think.
this so many times.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's got to be terribly frustrating for them. They deserve
Yeah,
better
for sure.
than this. They really do.
Well, we will be in Pleasant. Was it
Mount
Pleasant?
Pleasant,
Mount
yep.
Pleasant, Michigan, for that game, and we'll have plenty of more to talk about in the days
Hopefully
coming up.
more
and,
pleasant stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we'll see about that. But we will catch you next week on the Central Michigan edition of KU Sports Extra.